Hey, Nicole.
Hello, Vanita.
So, this is part of our SLP Business Connect series. We have talked about how to match your school salary with just 10 sessions a week. We have talked about 30 different Speechie Side Hustle ideas that you could do with your SLP degree. And today we're talking about 10 of our favorite business books to help you launch or grow your business. You ready to dive in?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So I feel like number one would be Start with Why. I feel like that book is really good to help people understand what problem they want to solve as an entrepreneur and what their mission is more than just making additional income or leaving their SLP job. It's really about how you're going to make a difference and serve others. Have you read that book yet, Nicole?
I haven't. It's one of the next ones on my list, but I do love when people are talking about how they started their business and really what inspired them. No matter the ebbs and flows of your business, what kept you going. And I'm sure that's what this book really talks about.
Yeah, sort of. I would say that the next book we could talk about is Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. He is the founder of Nike. That one is really good for showing how resilient you have to be as an entrepreneur and just it's so inspiring. Everything that he did, almost losing his company multiple times, and then just how he grew it into the brand that it is today. So I would say Start with Why and Shoe Dog are some really great initial books to start off with if you haven't read them already. And then the 5-second rule. Have you read that one?
I absolutely love Mel Robbins
I
and
know, she's the
everything that
best.
she does. So I recommend all of her books all of the time just because she's so real and gives such great life advice.
In such
Like,
a tangible way, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Different things that you really can do that aren't just, it's not empty motivation. It's really how you can, I don't know, live your life authentically and unapologetically, pretty much.
Yeah, and I feel like she's coaching you while she's reading it in the Audible
Mhm.
version. It's kinda like, "Come on, wake up.
Yeah.
Stop living this monotonous life and do what you think about doing on a daily basis and stop making excuses." So, I love it. I think it's so good.
Mhm.
All right. So I think another book that I would recommend is Atomic Habits. I know you've read that one too. You want to talk a little bit about
I
it?
loved that book. For me, I'm very much like when I put goals or habits into place, I've always been a very like all or nothing kind of mindset when it comes to them. And I feel like Atomic Habits helped me realize like, hey, it's not actually all or nothing. If you can do even 1% better today than you did yesterday, you're making a difference. Grow things slowly, and that's going to help you keep going with whatever habit it is, whether it's waking up early, eating habits, drinking more water, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is in your life, doing 1% better every day is going to be so much better than just today. I am drinking a gallon of water a day from here on out. That doesn't work. So I really loved that book.
Yeah, I feel like it highlights how people are not able to stick to their New Year's resolutions and why that is. And it just brings in a lot of research. So I
Hmm.
also love that book. All right. I feel like those are good books to help you get started and inspired to start a business and maybe even keep up with your business when things get really hard. I've listened to the 5-second rule numerous times. But let's talk about some books that you might need once you've started your business or like you're the very initial stages. One of my favorites is Hello, My Name is Awesome. It's not a long book at all, but it helps you to create a name and a brand that will stick and resonate with people. It talks about trademarking your name as well and just how to find a very unique name. I wish I had done this before I created Speechy Side Up, but I did do this before Tassel. And Speechy Side Up is cute, but it doesn't allow me to really expand, whereas Tassel allows us to really expand into various areas. We could do education for speech language pathologists, but also occupational therapists and physical therapists and teachers, and the list goes on. It's very broad and it's just very short and recognizable as well. It's kind of like Amazon. I don't want to say tassels like Amazon. Let's not go that far. But Amazon is a very broad name that encompasses a lot of different things. And when Jeff Bezos created it, he envisioned it like the Amazon River, just reaching, far and wide. And so I definitely recommend that book. Did you
I've
read it?
I did, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
that book has a lot of brainstorming ideas. It gives you techniques on what to do. It's not just like, "This is what makes a good name, this is what makes a bad name," but it actually helps you know what to do next and how to search for an available domain name and valuable things like that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And then you reminded me they have a name checker if it passed her test. So if you have different names that you're thinking about for your business, you can run it through her test and she'll tell you if it passes or it
Mhm.
doesn't pass. And I
Mhm.
think it's free too.
I think so. I think
Um,
you're right.
the other one that I really like, which we still use to this day, is building a story brand. You've read that one, right?
Yeah. And yeah, that's been helpful in all different aspects of marketing as we've done different launches or even just regular social media posts and newsletters and how to connect with your audience.
Yeah. I like how authentic it is. I think prior to building a story brand, I feel like a lot of what I was doing was, I don't want to say like bragging, but it was just talking about myself or like what my business was doing. Then building a story brand helps you speak to your audience and how you can serve them in an authentic way. My business completely changed. My social media completely changed once I started using building a story brand. And we'll have
Mm.
like copywriters that come on with us now. We're like, have you read Build a Story Brand? Because if you haven't, you need to read it before you start, basically. So yeah, anybody that does marketing with us or copywriting for us, they absolutely have to read it. He also has a free resource that, like I said, I'm still utilizing to this day. If you go to mystorybrand.com, I would recommend reading the book first so you understand how to use it, but it's a great template for anything that you can do copywriting for. All right, so let's jump into another book that we highly recommend. This one is called Profit First, and we talk about this one a lot. I think that this is probably one of the top business books that all entrepreneurs should read. I'll let you talk about it, Nicole, and your favorite parts of the book.
Like Vanita said, I think we've talked about this book a lot in the last 2 years of FLP Creative Con, just because it also has a lot of different systems that you can take away from it. It gives you, it's not just about sales and expenses is your profit, but it talks more about how people are going to look at how a business works in the ends of it and the most effective way to look at strategy so that you can really turn a profit early in your business. You're not waiting for that 5-year mark and waiting and waiting and waiting to see when that's going to take off. You can come from an early business, simple numbers and still turn a profit. And that I think that was one of the biggest takeaways I had from this book was that it doesn't matter where you are in the journey, you can always use a formula to and a strategy to turn a profit.
Yeah, I think whenever I like fall off the wagon and don't utilize profit first is when I start to see my numbers getting, like in the red when they're not doing well. And as soon as I implement profit first again, it's like everything is where it's supposed to be. I don't know. I just think I have a much better pulse when I'm utilizing profit first. So I've recently created a profit first calculator because in the book he tells you that you should look at your accounts every single day, but do your payments and bills on the 10th and the 25th. So we're actually offering the calculator for free at SLP Business Connect. And you just plug in your revenue at that time period. So on the 10th, and then it tells you like where you need to allocate to your taxes, to your profits, to your pay, and to your bills. So Highly,
Yeah.
highly recommend. I actually wanna read that one again. I feel like it's a good reminder, but essentially think about, like, grandma putting cash into different envelopes for savings and bills. That's what you're doing here. It's just so hard nowadays when everything is digital. You're not really
Right.
physically holding cash, so a lot of times you're like, "Wait, where did that go?" Especially with subscriptions. Nicole will tell you, I am constantly going through and deleting subscriptions because sometimes you need the subscriptions, but then other times you're like, "I haven't used this in a year or I haven't used it in 6 months." That's one thing about subscriptions that I don't love. It's like a lot of the time that service that we're utilizing, we only need it 1 or 2 times a year, but we're not using it all year round. So, yeah, it just helps you stay on top of the digital finance budgeting world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and another reason why I really love this book for new entrepreneurs is because if you're offering especially if you're offering a service-based business, if you're running a private practice or doing something like that, you're putting so much effort into making sure that you have whatever skill that is and everything that comes with that, that as a business owner, you're kind of overwhelmed by, oh my goodness, and I'm running a business and I have to do finances and I have to figure out what my whatever, my home office, this expense, that expense. It can feel very overwhelming to look at the finances of it, but I feel like this book kind of breaks it down. Here are the four principles you need to follow. Here's some accounting language in super simple terms, and this is how you can start making money and be sustainable. And it doesn't feel like this big thing that's looming over your head. It sounds simple and you can take it on yourself, even though you're wearing so many hats doing whatever business that you're doing.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. I feel like when I implemented Profit First, it was like it allowed me to go from my part-time job to my business full-time, finally. I always felt like I was on this hamster wheel of making money, infusing it back into the business, but this book helped utilize the revenue that the business was making and then increase the profits by focusing on the areas that were making the most, if that makes sense. So, yeah, highly recommend that one. Another one that I recommend is called Building Your Money Machine. This one is really it breaks things down really easily. It's still a little bit over my head. I feel like I need to go and listen to it again, but it's like all the things that they do not teach you in life, in grad school, like where to invest. Basically, like your time is money, right? So you only have so many hours in the day to allocate to your business, to your family. And this book talks about how to create revenue streams that are more passive. So, like investing in the right stocks, investing in different businesses, a subscription based business that you're still generating revenue without putting in additional effort or time. So he basically tells you how you can go from being in your business to not being in your business and your business kind of working for you and creating generational wealth. So I know that seems like a lot when you are just starting a business, but it's definitely something you have to think about long term because the benefits of working for somebody, right, is you get a 401k and retirement and health insurance and all of that. But when you go to work for yourself, that is hard to conceptualize. And so this book really breaks it down very easily for you. And then another book, I think we're like on 8. So this would be number 9 is You Are a Badass at Making Money. A lot of people have like negative views about money. I know I certainly did and still kind of do, but it's getting a lot better. Like my relationship is getting better, but I just always felt like it was really hard to make it if I'm not working for somebody. And even when I was working for somebody, I feel like I would undervalue myself and just agree to any salary that someone presented. But this one helps you to feel a little bit more confident around money. And I guess, there's a little bit about money manifestation. And I think there's some good takeaways from the book. I don't know that it's all applicable, but I just think it helps build up your confidence in this area. Have you read this one, Nicole?
No, it's also on my next to read list. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely check that one out. And then I think we're number 10. So my last one that I would recommend is the new one by Mel Robbins called Let Them. I think that that's a great book for any entrepreneur or just anybody in general because you are going to encounter a lot of critics along the way. And so it can either make or break your business. You can either be resilient. Honestly, I think that the most successful entrepreneurs are those who are resilient in the face of critics, but also in the face of all of the challenges that come along with running your own business too. What do you think?
Yeah, I've been waiting for I'm, like, on the list on Libby for the audiobook, waiting for it to get released.
Oh, I hope you get it soon. It's a
But
great
I do
one.
too. I She's been reading excerpts of it, I think just for TikTok, maybe on her podcast. I've been getting them on TikTok. So I've been able to listen to little bits from the book, and I cannot wait to listen to the whole book because it's just, again, I said in the beginning, I really love her style. I really love how she connects with the audience and how she, I don't know, drops her little nuggets of knowledge. They're so good.
So good. Amazing. Well, Nicole, this has been such a fun series to do with you. And I
Yeah.
hope that it helps people who are thinking about starting a business or who already run their own business. Again, feel free to reach out to us via email info@tasseltogether.com or on our Instagram at tasseltogether, or you could reach out at Speechie Side Up as well. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.